All right, Gen 7 approach and arrival. Procedures, Chris. Talk
10 left, gateway 651.
There, for copyright infringement on YouTube.
5159, you have that Gulfstream below you in sight?
Yeah, I think it just passed right under 5159.
All right, prepping for an arrival. I normally start my preparation 30 minutes, 30 minutes prior to my time at my destination.
When we get him back there, 5159.
So the first thing we looked at the weather at 30 minutes, so we started.
So the first thing I'm going to do is to set up my airplane. I'm going to look at my weather.
5159, you can just have to maintain 4,000.
After that, I'm going to come up with a mental plan A and plan B.
651, let me know when you have Gallenberg. It's currently
if an instrument approach is involved, I'm going to review the instrument approach procedure and the arrival procedure for plan A.
5,000.
5,000, 3023.
And then I'm going to load plan A, brief plan A, run my checklists, and execute. So to get my weather, all right, coming down here on GTC1, my favorite button. All right, the waypoint info, right? Select waypoint, airport, brakes. I'm going to move my AWOS. I'm initially going to tune it in on
number 306 Lima Mike, contact Atlanta Center 134.8.
3486 Lima Mike. Atlanta Center Vision Jet. Atlanta Center Cirrus 306 Lima Mike 5500.
Number 306 Lima Mike, Atlanta Center, roger. Maintain VFR, the Knox altimeter 3046.
3046, 6 Lima Mike. All right, so I tuned in the AWOS for Habersham County, and at the altitude that we're at, it's almost impossible to hear that. But I'm going to give it just a try to turn off the squelch. I'm going to move the blue box by pushing, all right, the GTC FMS knob. Notice the blue box is down on the number. Right, I can change the blue box by touching it. I just found that in turbulence, sometimes it's hard, so I like using the FMS knob. So I'm going to turn off my squelch, and here if I can hear it, and as you see, that's a whole bunch of noise. So I'm going to select weather, METAR, and I'm going to take a look at what's going on. See, the winds are 290 at 5 knots, 10 miles, it's clear. It's a lot warmer in Georgia than it was up in Ohio. Altimeter 3038. So looking like winds out of the northwest. And my runway options, 06 and 24s. Out of the northwest, I guess we're going to use 06 today. Now, one nice feature is coming in VFR. Right, I do have the option of having a VFR sectional up. Nice. And I can bring the VFR sectional, and I'm going to move my little pointer down there.
Number 47, Waste 2 Papa, are you looking for flight following?
And wherever the pointer is, when I change the range of the map, it's going to center on the pointer.
2565.
And the big thing I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for that crazy RP thing. Is it left traffic or right traffic for runway 06? So it's looking like we've got left traffic to runway 06. So my plan A is going to be left traffic for runway 06, and we'll back it up for left traffic to runway 24 if the winds do something crazy.
TA 32, and our destination is Norfolk, Oscar Romeo Foxtrot. We departed Evans Landing.
Number 47 West Papa, roger.
And because we're at low altitude for the break-in on the engine, it is going to be a little bumpy today. So if I was going to be doing an instrument approach procedure, and let's just pretend the weather is bad really quickly, I personally select the proc button. We don't have an arrival into Habersham County, so I'm going to select approach, and I'm going to go, what do I need? And I see, ooh, RNAV runway 06. If I changed it, you notice it's going to be asking my transition up front. I don't know my transition when I change it. So I just hit the back, and what I do is I come down to approach options where it says preview is currently off, and I select the preview, and I go show chart, and it brings up the instrument approach procedure that I selected for me to review. And then for however individuals review, I normally, with a Jeppesen chart, kind of start here at the middle panel. and work my way from right to left looking for MSAs in the case that this airport has
November
TAAs.
306 Lima Mike, radar contact lost, stay altitude.
And 6 Lima Mike, we're at 5,500 and we've got the terrain inside.
Number 6 Lima Mike, roger. And be advised that area IFR, the lowest IFR altitude is 7,200.
6 Lima Mike. So I would find an IAF, right, 10P, right, my key altitudes. Key altitudes on the approach, 4,200 feet. Ooh, that was a good updraft. 4,200 feet. All right, then down to 3,300 feet with an LPV of 1,700. The big things I've memorized is my IAF, right? My decision altitude.
November 79er Fox, about how much longer with your photo mission?
I hit the back button on
maybe 10 minutes in this
GTC-1.
area left, and then we're going to another site out by Albert County that we're going to go down to, 79 Foxtrot.
Autopilot's hanging on.
It's doing a good job.
I'm sorry, I missed the last call. Say it again.
All right, we're going to build ourselves over this little saddle.
Difference 30 Kilo Atlanta.
Basically what we have going on right now is
20. I'll have on course for you shortly.
got a wind shear going across the mountains right now, and creating just a light to moderate turbulence here at 5,500 feet.
Kronos 1833 Atlanta, roger.
So, but back to loading. On GTC-1, I basically kind of start left to right, top to bottom, and I go, I don't need to change those first two little fields. I see, ooh, transition. And I go, 10P was the one I selected. Then I come down to my baro minimums. There was something in there from when we were playing earlier. Normally it's empty. And I'm going to type 1710. You can see how challenging touchscreens can be in turbulence right now. Right? And now I load my approach. Once I've loaded my approach, I will split my I'll split my MFW. Right? I move the MFW control to the right, and then I just touch the chart button on GTC-1, and now I've got my chart available for me to do an instrument approach procedure.
1522 Atlanta Center, roger.
And I'm going to emphasize, whenever if I'm in split window, right, I will always move the window control up against the engine panel whenever I'm not doing anything. It's kind of like hitting the home button on GTC-1.
From your Bravo level 7,200.
And last but not least, I'm going to review my checklists. Most of this is a review. I'll end up doing it real time. The brakes are good.
7 Whiskey Papa, contact.
Everything is as required. They've changed the checklist on the Gen 7 a little bit. And they've gotten rid of a lot of the words on the landing checklist. It's more of a checklist now than it used to be. Unsplit.
After Atlanta, Gulfstream 23 Delta Charlie is 18.8 down to 11,000. 23 Delta Charlie, Atlanta Center, cross Dehan, I maintain 8,000, Atlanta altimeter 3044. Dehan 8,000, 3044, 3 Delta Charlie.
All right, the field is at 1,500 feet.
We're
at 5,500 feet. We have 4,000 feet to lose. I'm going to divide that by 1,000, so that's 4.0 times 3 is 12. That's the distance I'm going to cover over the ground while I'm descending at 800 foot a minute. I'm going to add 3 miles of that to give me a chance to decelerate. So I'm planning my descent at 15 miles away from the field. Last but not least, I'm going to try and get ahead of my airplane and
Number 5 Romeo Golf, contact.
I'm on the center freak that is around the airport, so I'm going to move Unicom
13247
and tune it
5
into
Romeo
the
Golf. Thank you.
standby of COM 1.
Someone check in on answers.
216 Romeo,